Well, last week we showed you the first race of the 250 Grand Prix machines here at Mallala. Stand by because the second race is about to unfold. The front row has the gun riders from all over the country. Right there on screen, Marcus Payton, but from pole it will be Rip Crocker. Beside him, Craig Connell, Payton out of 3, and Alan Watts from Western Australia will come from grid position 4. With me in commentary, Greg Rust. What a brilliant day for racing.
Yes, absolutely fabulous, Greg, and I tell you what, race 1 was a sensational race. Let's see how race 2 pans out. The grid now being cleared. There you can see the man, the 1994 Australian champion, Craig Connell. He's looking very, very focused indeed. The field now all set for racing. The riders hunched over the bikes. They're away. Atley got away very, very smartly, but so too did our 1994 champion. He's already, in fact, come into the lead. Settling into second place already is Alan Watts. They go down through the first turn here at Mallala.
Yes, I think Alan Watts, after the dramas he had in the first race, that those of you who saw it would realise he had a major moment on cold tyres. Really did scare himself. Connell ran onto the back of him, and so I think Connell this time has decided to pull the pin and just make the break. Crocker up into second place. Geez, have a look at the front wheel starting to slide. The cold tyre syndrome on Grand Prix bikes can really bite you hard. That's Alan Watts on screen, bike 3 going hard. Geez, come on well in the last few months in this championship. But that is your leader, bike 1, Craig Connell. And Crocker there got himself into a bit of a drama. Watts couldn't take any advantage of it. So it looks as if Crocker's managed to hang on to second place, and Watts there almost was able to grab second place. Martin Atley back in 4th position, and Simon Weeks there, bike 41, another of the competitors to really rise in the last half of the season. He is really starting to come on strong, so watch out for Simon Weeks. I think you're really going to see some action from him in 1996. Well, they're settling themselves in, and there's a bit of a battle already developing here between Alan Watts and Martin Atley. That is son of Len Atley. So for those of you who have been up with motorcycle racing for the last decade or so, no doubt would know that the Atley name is a winning name, and young Martin is carrying on the family tradition. Well, Craig Connell fires out of the bottom turn, heading for this big right-hand sweeper. And Rusty, they come through here absolutely flat in top.
You can just see how much effort is being applied there by Crocker as he comes through the corner, really hunched over the bike. There's your leader, though. Connell, hard on the brakes. He turns into the corner. Let's have a look at the gap now between himself and Crocker. Crocker desperately trying to close the gap. The battle at the moment, though, is on for 3rd place. The question is, can Watts hold them out?
Well, I think right at the moment, the real conditions that are playing into everyone's hands here are, first of all, the wind has dropped and the temperature has dropped just a little bit here for the second race. So that is going to help all of the competitors out. Tyre-wise, well, it's an open slather. They can do whatever they want. They can run new rubber. Grand Prix classes allow any change of machine tyres, whatever it might be, throughout the day. Now, Crocker, point score-wise, is just ahead of Craig Connell. Now, Connell, the reigning champion, defending his situation here, defending the #1 plate, had an atrocious start to the season, had some real machine problems. The funny thing is, Crocker, who's leading him on points, is riding Connell's last year's machine. So as far as Craig Connell's concerned, he's got to be thinking whether it was really worth that $30,000 to have sold the bike to Rip Crocker. Both of them come from Queensland. Lakeside is their local circuit, and they do a lot of testing there. That is a tough track on tyres, and so a lot of development can be done on the motorcycle, home base for these guys. Connell on the charge. Doesn't he look tidy on this machine? Just locks the front wheel through the S's there, making life a little quicker for him through there. And he really does look the professional.
There's a shot there of Rip Crocker currently sitting back in 2nd place. Watts sits in 3rd. The battle is on for 4th place, and the rider who's managed to profit from it is Marcus Payton, the quick Queenslander, now up into 4th place, doing very, very well.
Well, let's see if we can get some shots of Payton a little later on. This man is electric on the motorcycle. He has a style similar to Jean-Philippe Rougier. And for those of you who are followers of the Grand Prix races throughout the season, you would be well aware of the fact that Rougier is the only rider that drags his elbows through corners. Yes, not just his knees on the deck, but in fact drags his elbows through the corners. Not too bad on the left-handers. Can be a bit tricky on the right-handers because it's the right hand that operates the throttle. Connell looks very efficient out there, very clinical. This is what is probably his biggest trademark. Oh, we've got Alan Watts has hit the deck. Can you believe that? In the all-elect racing machine, Alan Watts has found himself on the ground and out of contention. Unfortunately, of course, not picking up some points. Hopefully he can get the bike back onto the track and at least finish the race. Well, Crocker, I believe, is probably just sitting back thinking to himself, I've still got the points lead, I can still do this when we get to Phillip Island in 2 weeks' time. probably thinking that he can really do it at Phillip Island. He loves the racetrack, but so does Connell. Both of them have stated they're going to pull the pin at Phillip Island in the final round and walk away with the championship. We'll have to wait and see. Right at the moment, we're at Mallala, and the action is electric. Here's Connell on his final lap, and just have a go at the gap he's got. It's probably a little bit more than the main straight here. And there's Martin Attlee up and off the Ripple Strip. This is a beaut race. Have a look at this. Attlee shuts the door and runs wide. So Attlee's run himself wide. That has cost him that position. Marcus Payton says, thank you very much. I'll send you a Christmas card for that one. And Rusty, you just can't afford to make an error like that in the last lap.
You certainly can't. Absolute heart-in-the-mouth stuff. Attlee did very
run in the World Road Racing 250 Championships. And I've said it before, and I will say it again, if you were ever going to get in behind someone to do the job, this is the man. Takes the checkered flag here at Mallala, and look at this, the action. Attlee back up the inside of Marcus Payton. So he says, I might have made a mistake earlier on, but I'm making up for it now. He's your second place man. Rip Crocker heading onto the straight, Attlee in behind him. Great run there from Attlee and Marcus Payton. The two of them battled their entire race distance, but the points have gone to Craig Connell.
Well, with just one round to go in the championship, the points battle is certainly going to go right down to the wire. Rip Crocker currently leads it just 3 points ahead of Craig.